And good morning from Tackleberries, Texas. Rupert Ellis and aided by Dave in the background. So hi Dave.
Hello.
Hello. So Dave, a couple of guns to show you this morning. One of them here is a Magnum Research Desert Eagle semi-automatic pistol. And the other gun here, perhaps more familiar to you, is a Glock. In this case it's a Glock 22 in 40 caliber. Just want to talk to you about the difference between these guns very quickly, because it involves the strategy that you're going to use if you're going to deploy one. You see, this is a single action gun and the other pistol is a double action pistol, and what that basically means is this. Going back into the day, kind of like Billy the Kid, Wild West, his revolver, Zeus, come out of the way. His arse sniffing. So his revolver was a single action revolver, which meant that he had to cock the gun each time he wanted to fire it, because his trigger performed a single action. It fired the gun. So in the same way, so is this Glock. So you can't just pull the trigger unless and have everything work for you unless there's a round chambered. And once there's a round chambered, at that point, we know this gun is clear, by the way, no magazine in it. And once you've chambered a round, at that point you can then fire it. Boom. Okay. However, to walk around with a gun like that with a round chambered would not be my personal preference. The lack of kind of means to lock the slide on one of those would mean that would be prohibitive. Not necessarily the gun, because if I was going to carry a Glock, I'd be carrying it openly and I'd be able to draw it either with a round chambered or relatively easily chamber one. However, this gun that I showed you earlier, just to show you the gun is still clear, this is a double action gun. So in this case, you can see at the back here, there is a hammer. There is a hammer. So with this gun, once we chamber around, we can now either fire it like Billy the Kid, single action, or if we want to, at this point, imagine that we put a loaded magazine in and we chamber around. This fella at the top here is a decocking lever. So if we push it down, as you can see, the gun has decocked itself, and also the trigger is completely disassembled. At this point, I'm quite happy carrying this in my pocket, because I know that I need to re-engage the decocking lever and also pull the trigger before this gun will fire. In other words, if I come to shoot the gun, at this point I hit the decocking lever up, the gun is now live, and I can pull through the trigger, and you can see the hammer is working. So I can fire this gun double action. So from my personal point of view, as a guy that learned to shoot with a revolver, this kind of gun works better in my hands than perhaps a Glock, which I know that I'm going to have to chamber around to shoot. That then goes some way to explain the ergonomics of the slide here, because when you look at Glocks and similar, as you grip them aggressively, you know, this is a gun, this isn't dancing, so the slide is designed to be easy to grip so you can chamber that first round. Some of the other guns have slimmer slides at the top because you can carry them perhaps more easily, and you know what, every car is different, every piece of jewellery is different, each of us is different, we're all unique, just like everybody else. So single action, double action handguns, and my preference would be double action, but you know what, depends on your personal strategy, how you're going to actually deploy it, if you actually have to, and if you haven't thought about it, owning a gun, that's the beginning of the journey. But you need to think about what you're going to do with it before you actually have to use it, okay? Think ahead. Thank you. Come see us, we're open from 11. Tackleberries, Texas. See you soon.